Hello, friends. The 837 days of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. Russian troops have become seriously active in Chasiv Yar in the Bakhmut direction. For the second day in a row, they are advancing in the eastern part of the city through the Canal micro-district, according to the military telegram channel Deep State. Russian telegram channels claim that their troops have captured most of the micro-district and reached the borders of the Siversky Donets-Donbas Canal, which is the main line of defense of the Ukrainian armed forces. Now, judging by the Deep State map, the gray zone in some places has almost reached the water canal. Although the entire micro-district, according to the same map, is far from being captured. The situation in the Kharkiv direction looks contradictory. Zelensky, in his evening address, said that the Russian army failed to implement their Kharkiv operation. We are now holding them back as much as possible and destroying Russian units that enter our land, he said. At the same time, since Friday, information has been received from a number of telegram channels that the Ukrainian armed forces are not only restraining, but also attacking in this direction. In particular, they wrote that Ukrainian units, advancing from Lipsy, entered the village of Gliboki, which was mainly controlled by the Russians. However, the general staff did not confirm this counterattack. Also, according to Deep State, there have been no changes to the front line in Gliboki. Part of the village, as before, is in the gray zone. The American Institute for the Study of War suggested that the Ukrainian armed forces did not attack Gliboki, but the neighboring Dacha village. Geolocated footage published on June 7 shows that Russian troops have advanced south of Gliboki and have likely captured the village. A Russian military blogger said on June 8 that Ukrainian forces had carried out a successful counterattack and advanced to the outskirts of Gliboki, but another Russian military blogger denied this claim. A Russian source said that Ukrainian forces had likely pushed Russian troops out of the Dacha area north of Lipsy and southwest of Gliboki, the institute writes. Russian telegram channels claim that there was a counterattack by the Ukrainian armed forces on Gliboki, but it was repulsed. Speaking about the Vovchansk direction, yesterday the German newspaper Bild stated that the Ukrainian armed forces drove the Russians out of the center of Vovchansk and recaptured several blocks. However, Ukraine did not officially confirm this. The general staff said that the Ukrainian armed forces repelled Russian attacks in Vovchansk. According to Deep State, there have been no changes at the front in the Vovchansk area. The resource map indicates that Russian troops are attacking the city. On the southern front, Russian troops advanced in the Volodymyrivka area east of Vuhledar. This section of the front has not moved for quite some time. Ukraine lost control over the village of Vovchansk in the Zaporizhia region, as well as over the village of Kharkiv on the eastern shore of the Kherson region. This was stated by the deputy head of the Rada Committee on Defense and National Security, People's Deputy from the Servant of the People Bezaglia, commenting on the committee meeting, where the command of the armed forces of Ukraine and other senior officers were present. According to Bezaglia, the committee recorded lies about Kharkiv and Vovchansk. Vovchansk has not been ours for several weeks now. And they are silent about it. And Kharkiv de facto is already too. Vovchansk is the only result of Zelensky's counteroffensive, a village in the lowlands that has become a cemetery of lives, Western technology and the self-confidence of the generals. Now for me, it is also a symbol of lies and nothing has changed. Generals, do you think that the Allies are fools? They don't see from satellites what is happening and how. Is there more truth on social networks and on the map of Deep State, the MP wrote on Facebook. Let me remind you that Russia announced the capture of Vovchansk in mid-May, and the Ukrainian military stated that the village had moved into the gray zone. The Ukrainian military wrote on social networks in late May and early June that the Ukrainian armed forces had left Kharkiv, but this was officially denied. Today, the main intelligence directorate of Ukraine announced the defeat of the Russian Su-57 fighter. According to the department, this happened on June 8, 2024, on the territory of the Aktubinsk airfield in the Astrakhan region of Russia. The main intelligence directorate provides satellite images of the aircraft parking at the airfield. The photographs show that on the 7th of June the Su-57 was standing intact, and already on the 8th, explosion craters and characteristic spots of fire appeared near it as a result of fire damage, the report says. The image shows a trace, probably from an arrival not far from the plane. How damaged he himself is not visible on satellite images. Let me remind you that yesterday the Russian Ministry of Defense announced the downing of drones over the Astrakhan region, without specifying whether there was an arrival. Some Russian military telegram channels confirmed the attack on the Su-57. According to them, the fighter received shrapnel damage. It is now being determined whether it can be restored or not. If not, then this will be the first combat loss of the Su-57 in history, states one of the telegram channels. I note that the Su-57 is the most modern fighter in Russia's arsenal. The main intelligence directorate claims that the Russians have only 6 such aircraft in service. As for aircraft for Ukraine, by the end of this year, only 20 Ukrainian F-16 pilots will complete training, writes Politico. This will be only half of the 40 pilots needed to fly a full squadron of 20 aircraft. Therefore, the Ukrainian authorities are demanding that the United States and other countries step up the training of F-16 pilots. Ukraine says it has 30 pilots who are eligible to begin training in the United States immediately. However, the Biden administration has told Kyiv that its program in Arizona does not have space to accept more than that, according to 3 people with direct knowledge of the request. 12 pilot trainees at a time, the article says. Denmark and Romania have a similar problem with available places to study. Therefore, it is expected that by the end of this year, only 20 Ukrainian F-16 pilots will complete training, the publication writes. One former official said that, at this rate, Ukraine will not have a full squadron of trained pilots until the end of 2025. Meanwhile, France can supply Ukraine with no more than 6 Mirage 2005. The remaining fighters will have to be looked for in other countries, reports La Tribune Dimanche. The French aerospace forces have only 26 aircraft of this type. If Paris wants to keep at least 1 squadron, which is 20 aircraft, then it cannot give more than 6 fighters. As the newspaper writes, such a number of aircraft is extremely small both in order to really help the armed forces of Ukraine and in order to satisfy the ambitions of French President Emmanuel Macron, who wants to remain at the center of the political game around military assistance to Kyiv. La Tribune Dimanche believes that Ukraine can count on up to 12 aircraft. This is the most plausible figure. At the same time, deliveries of fighters to Ukraine by the end of the year will monstrously complicate the organization of French aviation missions and the maintenance of their fleet. Macron's reluctance to name the exact number of aircraft being sent to the French armed forces is due to the fact that the president will likely have to convince the 3 countries where the Mirage 2005 is in service to transfer or sell them to be sent to Ukraine. We are talking about Greece, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. Friends, this channel exists solely thanks to your support. If you have the opportunity and desire to support the channel, I will be very grateful to you. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.